It's happening. MCC's coming to PC, baby! I'm so hyped about this. To be honest, I have known about it for a little while now. I couldn't say anything, but now that it's public, Lordy, I'm really excited. If you guys want to see some of my more in-depth thoughts on it, I did upload a video about it, but for now, it's time for a Halo Q&A. So if you guys don't know the rules, all you have to do is leave your questions in the comment section below, and hopefully they'll be answered on next week's show. So we're going to start off with Dark Lord Ainsley, who says, Q&A. How do you think mods will evolve for Halo now that it's on the PC? Do you think that the modding community will be more active? Also, do you think that there might be a possibility of Steam Workshop for PC? So, back when 343 pulled a lot of us community members into the loop and requested our feedback, we did give feedback that we want mod support, we want Steam Workshop support. I have no clue. I have no clue where those things are. I do believe Sketch actually, our community manager, mentioned on a Reddit AMA that they are looking into mod support down the line. So, theoretically, if mod support does come to the MCC, I would be pretty ecstatic about that, because games such as Left 4 Dead, Gary's mod, those games, what's really cool about them is even after the developers stop supporting them, the community carries on, and it's almost like the live team that makes new content post-release. It becomes the community. They're making new campaigns, new weapons, new skins, new animations, and all that. So, if Halo were to get mod support on the PC, that would be really cool to see new campaigns made by the community in Halo 3's engine, or Halo 4's engine. There's already people excitedly chattering about the possibility of creating a lore mod that has Master Chief's armor be the Halo 3 Master Chief armor at the start of the Halo 4 campaign, and you get new armor when you meet up with the Infinity. Just cool stuff like that. I'm pretty excited about the idea of mod support coming to MCC, but let's wait and see what 343 announces. It's exciting. The next question comes from Whimsical, who says, Q&A, do you have any issue with the lowered crosshair from Halo 2 to 4? It makes me nauseous. So what he's talking about, if you guys don't know, is starting with Halo 2, and then leading all the way up to Halo 4 until it went back to centered in Halo 5. Halo's crosshair was traditionally offset. It was lower than the center of the screen. Now, I forgot the exact technical reason why Bungie did it. If I recall, the explanation given was that since consoles have a locked field of view that's very narrow, lowering the crosshair kind of gives you more peripheral vision because the ground is not taking up half of your screen. So basically what you've got is you've got what's in front of you and the sky above you, so you can kind of see what's going on above you and in front of you. And so, for a lot of games, I actually prefer lowered crosshair. It gives me a nice view of the skybox, the ground is not taking up half of my screen space. Yeah, with games like Far Cry 5, Destiny 2 on PC, games that let you lower the crosshair, I always play with the crosshair lowered from the center of the screen. It's just what I prefer, but I also understand that for some people it does make them feel nauseous. Because, you know, it's different, it's odd, they're not quite used to it. So, in my ideal world, I prefer an option. So that either person, the person who prefers lowered, the person who prefers centered, they have that option. That's just how I feel, though. If I start sounding out of it, I apologize. I made the mistake of having coffee this morning, and I'm now having a caffeine crash, and it's the worst. I need to stop drinking coffee. Like, this always happens to me, and I hate it, but I also hate being sleepy, and coffee helps me wake up. Okay, so the next question comes from Nathan Q, who says, Q&A, how's it going? It's going pretty good, thank you for asking. He then asks, what do you think the cultural impact of Halo Infinite will be? Do you think it'll bring Halo back into the spotlight, especially now with how open 343 are and how they're willing to listen to their fans? They're a breath of fresh air from the money-hungry corporate giants in the last few years, and I think new fans will appreciate this well, helping even more to show how Halo never died, but actually came back far stronger than ever before. Thanks, and also, you got any funky videos planned? So I do have a couple of video ideas planned. One of them was an April Fool's video, but I don't traditionally do April Fools, so I don't think I'll be able to do that in time, but to answer your question about the cultural impact of Halo Infinite, I think it's important not to set unrealistic expectations. The Halo community has been burned before. Whether it is a game genuinely letting us down or just unrealistically high expectations that we set upon ourselves, Halo, I do think its prime is past. Halo can't ever be as big as it used to be as a gaming giant, but I do think something 343 is doing is very smart. After Halo 5 came out, the series has kind of laid low, if you've noticed. We in the community called it the Halo drought, where just there wasn't a lot going on. We did have Halo Wars 2, but that's an RTS game, and so that's not for everybody. But just in general, Halo's been taking a back seat, which was quite different from leading up to Halo 5, where it seemed almost like Halo was becoming an annual series with a new game every 12 months or so. So it's interesting that now for almost half a decade now, 4 years, 343's been just kind of laying low with Halo. And we're starting to see excitement generate now. The Reclaimer stuff is ending. The Halo that alienated a lot of people, we're kind of seeing that leaving out the door, and 343 is starting to put a heavy focus on nostalgia, on what you remember Halo being. With Outpost Discovery, we're seeing a lot of familiar imagery from our childhood. They've got that arcade machine game that takes place during the original Halo. You know, you've got Master Chief in his original suit up there on billboards. Or not billboards, but, you know, on the advertising for the machine. And then with Halo Infinite, we've got a new Master Chief suit that, even though it's not the final design they did say in the trailer, it does look a bit more like what we remember, and they're even saying that Infinite will kind of return Halo back to how it used to be. So we're seeing, kind of after Halo 5 came out, 343 laying low, letting people digest and process Halo 5, and now Halo is starting to slowly make a big comeback, and this time we're also including PC players. MCC's coming to Steam, so yeah, I'm excited. I do think 343 is doing a lot of things right now. Let's just hope that they get the launch of Infinite correctly as well. So the next question comes from Who Am I? Who says, Q&A. Hey, Late Night, my question is, do you think that the modern style of first-person shooters, e.g. aiming down the sight, sprint, and even double jump, has made it difficult for the newer generation of gamers to play the classic Halo games? My girlfriend absolutely hates the fact that the original Halo trilogy doesn't have aiming down the sights and sprint, so she won't play them, despite being really interested in the story. How do you think that 343 should handle the game mechanics? Should they keep aiming down the sights and remove sprint? Would that please both the older gamers and the newer generation? So, this is where we're going to move more into objectivity. You guys know my personal opinion. I don't like the enhanced mobility. I don't think it actually strengthens the combat loop. I think it's done a lot to weaken Halo's combat loop. But that's subjective. Objectively, the modern era of gamers do have certain expectations for a lot of first-person shooters. A lot of people do like aiming down the sights. A lot of people do like sprint in their shooters. I don't think it needs to be in Halo, but there are people who disagree with me, and they're absolutely entitled to their opinion, just like I'm absolutely entitled to mine. Now, the unfortunate reality is that there isn't a way to please both. The best way I can put it is, the reason I enjoy the simplified gameplay is because I'm focusing on external elements in my environment. I'm focusing on where weapons are dropping, where enemies are placed, what vehicles are surrounding me that I can maybe use to my advantage, what types of grenades I have. And so I'm putting a lot of these toys that I'm finding to use. I'm not too worried about my own personal gameplay. Where a lot of modern gamers, they're not thinking about those external elements. What they enjoy is the gameplay, what their buttons can do. Can they ground pound here? Can they sprint over to there? Can they do this? Can they do that? So I think that maybe is where the separation is. It's external choices versus internal choices for gameplay preferences. I enjoy external choices. Other people clearly prefer internal choices. Internal being their core gameplay. In regards to Infinite and how it's going to handle the enhanced mobility, I do think that Halo 5's gameplay is going to be mostly retained, like the aiming down the sights, the sprint, the clamber, sliding, and all that nonsense. But I don't think that the thruster pack will be coming back. The most I can hope for is that those base Halo 5 movement mechanics, they'll try to tune and simplify and maybe see if they can find ways to make them less destructive on the combat loop overall, so that there can be more room for interesting engagements, interesting encounters, you know, bringing back the external sandbox, as opposed to it just all being about your core gameplay and that being the only thing about the game. So the final question comes from Alan Macias, who says, Q&A. Do you think we'll ever see the time come where Chief lays down his life for humanity and sacrifices himself? Also, if Halo YouTubers talk about Jerome and Isabel taking their place, more or suggested to 343, could it become a reality, or do you think 343 will be scared to go down that route? It's important to keep in mind that us YouTubers, we're not making choices for 343. Like, 343 definitely values feedback from us YouTubers, but ultimately we are one voice in the Halo community. There are thousands of people who play Halo that also give feedback, whether it be on Reddit, Waypoint, wherever. So, us YouTubers, we give the feedback and it's really up to 343 whether they do think that, okay, this feedback is pretty valuable. We're not actually making story-related decisions for them, because it is the story that they want to tell. All they can do is gauge community response to a story and then act appropriately, act how they see fit. You know, with Halo 5, there was a lot of negativity surrounding the story. And we see with Halo Infinite that they're acting on feedback. They're going back to a more familiar vision for the Halo universe, which is more Chief-focused, more focused on the rings, familiar imagery, hope, heroism. If you guys haven't seen the making of the Infinite E3 trailer, you should actually search it out. It's a really good hour-long stream, and it gives a lot of insight onto the mindset at 343 right now going into Infinite. It has me full of a lot of confidence. They seem to understand where to take Halo, but, you know, we don't have the game in our hands yet. Before the Infinite reveal, back when we just had Halo 5, and it was kind of like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? I did think that maybe we were going to see Jerome and Isabel replace the Master Chief and Cortana. I mean, Cortana's an evil dictator now, so who knows? I don't think all can be forgiven and then her just return as a little AI buddy. I don't think that's how it works when you use space owls to blow up planets. So, I doubt that Cortana will stay with the series. We'll probably have to take her down, or maybe they will just kind of be lame and cure her of her evil robot dictator-ness. I don't think that we're going to see Jerome and Isabel take over from Chief, though. Prior to Halo Infinite's reveal, I would have bought that. I think I even proposed it. But after the Infinite reveal, 343 seems to be, as of right now, very dead set on the face of Xbox, the Master Chief, the face of Halo. Like, that's what the series is. That's what resonates with people, and they're going to be sticking with that, that's fine by me. I rather like Master Chief. So, yeah, guys, that is all we got. It's gonna be a little bit shorter than usual. I usually try to answer at least 7 questions, but I'm going to run because I am starting to crash. I need to go find myself some energy, maybe go to the gym, see if I can get my adrenaline going, just something to wake up to make it to the end of the day. But leave your questions down below, guys. Follow me on Twitter if you want. Reach out to me. And I'll see you guys later. I hope your day goes well, by the way.